MarketSmith India team. That is because of technical issues, we were not able to join earlier. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Now I think it is up for everyone. Our team has also joined. Um, our team, Mr. Wakar has also joined, and Rishit is also expected to join. We might also see Maida's session as well. So sorry for the inconvenience caused. I think it's good to go now. I think. Can you, Wakar? Can you? Am I audible? Hmm? I think without any further ado, we will go ahead with this session. First, we'll discuss about current market, how the market is placed by looking at major indices and also some of the sectoral indices. Then we move on to the next part of the session where questions from the users are answered from O'Neill's perspective. So that is how the session is planned. Starting with the Nifty's chart. Uh, it's very important to understand the Nifty's price volume action to gauge the market. Currently, Nifty has been hovering around its 21 DMA for the last 1 month or so. 21 DMA is a green line here, and recently tested its 21 DMA and almost touched its 50 DMA as well, which is a red line. And it found very good support around that area, and it bounced back from those levels. And currently, it is trading very clearly above its 21 DMA, a very positive sign. Currently, Nifty is trading about all its key moving averages, starting with 21, 50, 100, and 200 DMS. These are the major key moving
Hello.
averages which we track.
Yeah, Raj, am I audible?
Yes, Vishit, you are audible.
Okay. Do you want me to take this continue?
Yeah, if you want, you can take it.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the interruption. Like there was some technical glitch in the system, so that's why we were not able to start out on the time. But as Raj was telling, the 50 DMA very crucial for the Nifty. We are done with the 21 DMA, but now again we have reclaimed the 21 DMA. The bounce was really strong from the 50-day moving average, and you can see the volume was also decent. It was on an above average volume. So I think now the most crucial support on the Nifty becomes the 50 DMA on the downside. So till the time we held about the 50 DMA, we are in a very safe zone as far as the markets are concerned. Not only Nifty 50, we also track the mid cap as well as the small cap indices. The similar thing has happened. The same chart you might see for the Nifty small cap 100 also free float. So that was exit rebound from the 50 DMA. Even in the mid cap index, it came very close to 50-day moving average and rebounded from there. So there were a lot of global updates which market was digesting. So the US inflation that had came higher. So firstly there was the RBI meeting, then this US inflation thing, which was a bit higher than the expectation. So there was a huge sell-off in the global market, especially in the US market on that day. But see, to be honest, it was extended and the selling was not that sharp. So yesterday there was a good recovery also as well as in the US market. If you look at the UK's inflation and see, the main thing is that in US the expectation of rate cuts in the May are now quite lower, but they are still there for the June. So it's not like there has been some major shift or इतना बड़ा major changes आए inflation में कि वह 2.89 expect था और 4 आ गया, ऐसा नहीं हुआ. There was some divergence from the expectations, but yes, it might push the rate hike 1 month back, but there is not still that damage as far as the inflation has done. But if you look at the UK's inflation, that came a bit lower than the estimate of 4.2. So estimate was 4.2 and it came around 4%. And in UK, the estimation is that there might be a 25 bips rate cut in June by the Bank of England. But yeah, one thing, there are some poor GDP data over there, so that might also support some rate cut over there. If you look at the other important market, Japan, so Japan's economy technically recession में चला गया क्योंकि this was the second quarter when it reported a degrowth in the GDP. So by definition वो technical terms में जो बोलते हैं उसमें वो रिसेशन में गया But on the flip side, the Japanese market are at a fresh high. हाई पे हाई चल रहा है वहां पे निकी इंडेक्स. द मेन रीजन इज द वीकर येन. तो जैसे वीक येन है तो वो उसकी इकोनॉमी एक्सपोर्ट पे बहुत डिपेंड रहती है जापान की. सो दैट हैज बूस्टेड द एक्सपोर्ट्स from the Japan, and that's the reason their market are trending at a fresh high. Uh, Also, if you look at the India CPI, so that was a bit lower than the last one. Sub 5.1 के around आया. The crude oil, the agriculture crops, all are supporting the things. So we don't see a spike in inflation in India. So it's a very stable. The economic growth, the macro indicators are quite stable. So yes, for the Nifty, I think it is important to reclaim the fresh high for a new rally. एटलीस्ट वो जो 21,800 टू 22,000 के बीच में वो निफ्टी फंसता है ना, वहां से एक बार निकल के वो 22,100 200 को क्रॉस करना चाहिए. बिकॉज इट फॉर्म लाइक अ डबल टॉप. एग्जैक्टली नहीं बनाया, बट देखो पहले 22,124 का हाई था, ठीक है, ऑन द निफ्टी इफ यू सी, विच वाज इन जनवरी 15-16 जनवरी को बनाया था. एंड देन अगेन इन फेब्रुवरी फर्स्ट वीक इट केम टू दैट 22,126 लेवल. तो वहां से फिर से रिवर्सल हुआ. सो नाउ आई थिंक मूविंग एंड क्लोजिंग अबाउट दैट लेवल इज क्वाइट क्रूशियल. ब्रॉडली 22,150-200 के ऊपर अगर बंद आता है, देन वी माइट सी अ फ्रेश राउंड ऑफ रैली. ऑन द फ्लिप साइड इफ वी सी दैट रिवर्स फ्रॉम हियर, 22 के आजू बाजू से रिवर्स हो जाता है, then something resonating a triple top will be there. But yes, on the downside, the 50 DMA is very important, which is somewhere around 21,500 550. So 500 to 600 वाला जो zone है वो अभी के लिए बहुत strong support zone है निफ्टी के लिए. And if we hold in that's positive. Raj, can you give me Nifty Bank chart? So there has been a mixed trend in the banking sector. So one, अगर आप एक बाजू देखें तो बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा है या फिर SBI है, they are trading at new high, the PSU banks. On the flip side, the top private banks like HDFC, Axis, Kotak, ICICI, they are a bit under pressure. So इन लोगों के जो top private banks की अगर बात करें तो Q3 numbers were largely as expected. NIM was a bit problem and it is expected to remain under the pressure. प्रॉब्लम क्या हुआ है पता है, जो डिपॉजिट ग्रोथ है दैट इज लैगिंग एंड द क्रेडिट ग्रोथ इज लीडिंग. सो इन दिस सिचुएशन द फंडिंग कॉस्ट जो बैंकिंग का है दैट हैज इंक्रीज. स्पेशली इफ यू लुक एट द HDFC, तो उनका जो LDR है, लोन टू डिपॉजिट रेशियो, इज नाउ एट 110% आफ्टर मर्जर. वो मर्जर से पहले वो 80s में हुआ करता था उसका रेशियो. सो डेफिनेटली दैट विल एड अ प्रेशर ऑन हायर कॉस्ट ऑफ फंडिंग इनको लेना पड़ेगा. So that is a concern in the most of the private banks. And but broadly if you see, the index is trading near its 200 DMA और वहां पे एक सपोर्ट मिल रहा है. The reason being the value. अगर वैल्यूएशन फ्रंट से देखे तो इट इज नॉट दैट अभी ग्रोथ कंसर्न है और वैल्यू एक्सटेंसिव है या फिर वो हाई पे ट्रेड कर रहा है, दैट इज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम. सो वैल्यू अगर आप देखें तो दैट इज वेरी क्लोज टू इट्स लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस जो बैंक्स का होता है. स्पेशली कोटक का देख लो, HDFC बैंक का देख लो, तो दैट इज नॉट अ मेजर इश्यू. सो लिमिटेड अपसाइड लिमिटेड डाउनसाइड वाले जोन में है अभी बैंक इंडेक्स. So let's see how the things unfold in the next few weeks, next few months, and if there are some triggers that might settle the cost of funding, and we can see a further rally. If you look at the PSU banks, there has been a huge rally. वहाँ पे कोई problem नहीं है. Okay, the expenditure in infra projects from the government, mostly PSU companies उसको manage करती है, PSU bank उसका funding करती है. And especially the balance sheet, अगर आप SBI की balance sheet देखिए तो that has been really strong. देर इज अ हेल्दी प्रोविजन कवरेज. प्रोविजन कवरेज जो है सबका बहुत ही स्ट्रांग है. SBI का देख लो या बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा का देखो या अदर PSU बैंक्स का देखो. सो इट्स थ्राइविंग, उनका ग्रोथ काफी अच्छा है एंड दे वर क्वाइट अंडर ओन्ड. तो दोनों चीज हो रही है, एक तो उनका बैलेंस शीट क्लीन है, तो प्रोविजंस है वो अच्छे है, गवर्नमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स की वजह से उनका ग्रोथ एक मल्टीप्लायर इफेक्ट आ रहा है वहां पे. एंड प्लस they were under on, so there is a huge buying potential that we have seen in last 1 or 2 years in the PSU banks, and that is continuing as of now. Now if you look at the Nifty auto index, so it is also trading near its all time high. since last 1.5 year, the auto index has been doing really well. So it has found multiple times support near 21 DMA. So अभी recently 3-4 महीने में देखो तो ये green line से bounce हो रहा है. It is not even touching red line. Okay, 50 DMA के नजदीक भी नहीं आ रहा है, and it is rebounding from 21 DMA. So broadly, there is a good demand in the auto sector. The growth, if you also look at the number in January, काफी अच्छे नंबर्स थे सारे ऑटो कंपनीज के. स्पेशली अगर आप पीवीज में देखें तो एसयूवी सेगमेंट इज लीडिंग. सो देयर इज अ ह्यूज डिमांड इन द एसयूवी सेगमेंट. If you look at in the CV, so CV में the growth is a decent one and it is expected to increase with the government's push. अभी जो spending बढ़ा रहे हैं, expenditure budget में बोला बढ़ा रहेंगे, तो infrastructure, government spending, so these all might lead to the higher demand in the CVs as well. And if you look at the few numbers in January, like Mahindra and Mahindra, Maruti, they have been really good. And in 2024, there are a lot of launches in EVs. So EV sector, जो EV वाला plans है, वो 24 में high number of launches है. So a lot of expectations are also getting built up with the new launches and how they will perform. So broadly, the index is doing quite well. Now, if we look at the IT, Nifty IT, there was a remarkable comeback in the IT stocks after 1.5-2 years of underperformance. We have seen that this time the rebound is quite remarkable. First, there was like last year, there was a lot of pressure due to the higher inflation, interest rate जो ऊपर जा रहे थे उसके सिनेरियो की वजह से. But now I think the way the inflation is gradually coming under the control, the estimation of the rate cuts, एंड सो देर वर वेरी लो बजट. टेक्नोलॉजी की साइड पे बजट कट था, प्रोजेक्ट्स डिले हो रहे थे, उसकी वजह से जो बिगर आईटी कंपनीज थी उसमें काफी प्रॉब्लम था, विच इज नाउ गेटिंग सॉर्टेड आउट. उनका मार्जिन भी इंप्रूवमेंट हो रहा है. जो कॉस्ट कंट्रोल के मेजर्स लिए, दैट माइट ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्ट वेल इन 2024. But there was no major issue as far as the mid cap and the small cap ITs companies were concerned, because the new technology adoption, the cloud computing, blockchain, IoT, etc., and the smaller scale projects were always running well. So the mid cap IT companies was anyhow doing well, and now the larger ones are also coming into the support. If you look at the metal index, Nifty metal. So here there is some selling we saw in the last few days, but then also it is trying to hold the 50-day moving average. So it's a bit volatile, but there was a good rally. If you look at from the from October lows to February high, the rally was really good, especially due to the higher demand in the India. So broadly, if you look in India, the steel price in last 1 or 2 months are quite stable. The demand is really good. The thing is that the China market is quite down and the production भी उसका down है, उनका steel का prices भी काफी नीचे गिरा है, because the demand is very low. And I think so that's the reason a lot of Chinese steel is coming into the international market, and that might add some pressure to the global steel market. But yes, broadly in India the demand is robust. The only problem is the iron ore का जो prices है, that has been really high. So high iron ore prices पे the margins might be a bit issue if the price is not getting higher. अगर चाइना माल डंप करेगा ग्लोबल मार्केट में, then we might not get that price. Our steel companies might not get that higher price. और अगर आयरन ओर का prices higher होगा, then that might impact the margin in the coming quarter. But due to the decent demand in the local market, there is no major downside risk for these metal companies. So if you look at the non-ferrous, aluminium, copper, zinc, the prices are quite soft. उसमें कोई इतना लास्ट 1-2 महीने में कोई तेजी मंदी नहीं है. 2-3% here and there. The non-ferrous prices are there. And now let's look at FMCG. So here, this index is a bit under pressure. Broadly, if you see, it is trading below its key moving averages, and now it is moving close to 200 DMA. So अभी का ये 2024 में इसने कुछ पार्टिसिपेट ही नहीं किया है. जैन में इसने हाई बना दिया और वहां से पूरा इट इज गोइंग डाउन, एंड इट हैज बीन अ चैलेंजिंग 2024. चैलेंजिंग है फॉर FMCG इंडेक्स, मेनली ड्यू टू वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ चैलेंज. अगर आप कंजम्पशन ब्रॉडली देखो तो गवर्नमेंट कंजम्पशन देखो तो नेट इज रियली हाई, बट जो एक ग्राउंड लेवल कंजम्पशन होना चाहिए प्राइवेट से, वो दैट इज नॉट कमिंग अप, एंड दैट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग इन द वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ ऑफ एफएमसीजी. सो 3-4 क्वार्टर पहले क्या था कि हम लोग वी यूज टू डिस्कस दैट वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ इतना नहीं है, बट प्राइस लेड वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ बहुत ज्यादा था. तो दैट इज वाई द रिजल्ट आर क्वाइट डिसेंट. बट अभी क्या हो गया है कि प्राइस लेड इतना नहीं था इस क्वार्टर में. So that's why it was a bit challenging quarter for the FMCG companies. But looks like maybe in the next 1 or 2 quarters they went again 1 to 3% increase in the price, and the no price plus volume, like the demand and volume both might turn up well. But as of now there is a bit choppiness in the volume growth, and there is a challenge. But looks like the margin might also improve in this year with the raw material cost quite stable, and it has a very strong. If this is a daily chart, Raj, if you can show the weekly chart for the FMCG index, then that will give you a very good idea. The weekly chart, if you see, the black line over here, that is the 40 week moving average. अगर आप देखिए अभी recently जो rally start हुआ है, it has never breached its 40 week moving average, right? Since last many 2-3 years. Now we are since September 2022, it has not breached that level, but now we are very close to that level. So this is very crucial to hold it. Otherwise, we might see some more further selling, or the FMCG index might remain a bit further under the pressure. But if it rebounds from here, then we might also see some decent rally in the stocks. Anyways, look quite many stocks are below its 50 and 200-day moving averages leading stock, which might again pick up from there. Now, if we look at the Realty index, it is trading near its high. It has been since last 1.5 year has been the best for the Realty index, but currently it is going through a consolidation phase. See, this is the daily chart. Now it is oscillating around its 21-day moving average, जो green line से ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, and finding support above the 50-day moving average. So अभी sideways है. इट हैड अ स्ट्रॉन्ग रैली. अगर आप देखें तो अक्टूबर से जनवरी बहुत जोरदार रैली था, एंड नाउ इट इज consolidating, moving sideways. No two ways about the pickup in the new projects, and the organized players getting a lot of advantage in last 1 or 2 years, and that's what reflecting in the chart. Lastly, Nifty Pharma, and then we will take to your queries. So if you look at the Pharma index, there has been a good recovery in the Nifty Pharma, and it is trading near its all-time high. If you see over here, so here also the last few months have been really good, and the stock is trading well above its key moving averages. The main thing is like पिछले साल कुछ यूएस में इतना डिमांड नहीं था, कॉस्ट में इतना स्टेबलाइजेशन नहीं था, बट नाउ देर इज अ कॉस्ट स्टेबलाइजेशन प्लस जो रिकवरी है यूएस में, दैट इज वेरी गुड. द जेनरिक बिजनेस इन द यूएस is booming for most of the Indian companies. And the other point is like there was a drug surplus in US in last few years, but now if you look at some data points, then there is signs of drug shortages in the global market, and that's where the Indian companies get a good demand. And if you not only the global or the US market, but even the domestic formulation business is really good, the demand is really good. And one other trend that has been positive is the ANDA approval. The ANDA approvals are really high. So all these, when you club it together, it's a very positive sign for the pharma index, and that's what we are able to see. So now if there some small group or sector, if it might come, then we will discuss it with your queries. So the floor is open for you all, but please do not keep repeating the queries. We will try to answer as many as possible, as this is the live session. So if you know paste a similar query multiple times, then it's difficult to scroll, and that might be a waste of time for everyone. So the floor is open. Me, Vakar, and Rajshekhar will try to answer as many queries as possible. I think there is a query on HDFC Bank. So I've already discussed in detail about the private banks and also the HDFC Bank. So just I'll give a glimpse about the chart. So if you look at the chart of the HDFC Bank, it is trading near its 52-week low, below all the key moving averages. And one needs to be very careful. I think we do not go for bottom fishing. Our methodology, canceling O'Neill followers, we don't go for the bottom fishing because you never know where the bottom is. So let it gain some technical strength. एक आध fundamental strong result आ जाता है, some improvements in the fundamentals, some improvements in the technical base formation, at least 50 DMA, 200 DMA reclaim हो जाए, then we will have a look at this one. And if, as Raj is indicating, look at the price trend. It's really really poor. बायर डिमांड डी माइनस है. अभी मार्केट में इतने अच्छे स्टॉक है जो अच्छा अच्छा रिटर्न्स दे रहे हैं, एंड so that is this is not an ideal time to rush behind the HDFC Bank according to our methodology.
Thanks, Rishit. I'll
Yeah.
take two queries now. I'll start with a couple of stocks. One is Jindal. It's a very good stock at the current moment. It is looking very good on many of the parameters. Starting with ratings, if you look at EPS is at 84, and which indicates a very strong set of growth in terms of sales and EPS. Technical ratings such as RS rating and ABD rating are also looking very good. The only concern is that it's currently trading in a stage for a double bottom base pattern, and it is slightly near the ideal buy range as well. But late stage basis, we do not encourage stages such as 4 and 5. We do not encourage to add. On stock on the chart wise, it is looking very good. It is trading above its moving averages. 50 DMA has been tested very recently in the couple of sessions back, and it has found support at that level as well. And currently it is reclaimed at 21 DMA as well. But only concern is it's a late stage base. However, if you have already taken position or if you are holding this stock in your portfolio, and if you are looking for a exit uh, price, I think it's better to place stop loss below its 50 DMA, couple of points below that, and you can continue to hold it. However, fresh addition or fresh position in this particular stock is not advised at this current moment. There are ample of stocks in the market which are trading from early stage basis and which are breaking out from those levels. You can filter those stocks and you can pick a couple of stocks from them rather than going for the late stage base breakout. And next is Maharashtra Bank, Bank of Maharashtra. As discussed by Rushit in the opening session, opening remarks about PSU banks, this stock is also among that group and which is doing very good. You can see it has been a very good outperformer recently, and from stage 2 base breakout, it has rallied and hit power to pivot as well. But from there, there is some slight uh, selling has happened in this stock, and currently it is trying to recover from those losses and trying to again rally from here. And it found very good support at its 21 DMA, a very positive sign. Ratings still remain intact, especially EPS is at 97 because there is no major change in the EPS from the last 1 week. But technicals have taken a slight beating. You can see RS line has, which has formed previously blue dots, has come down slightly lower, and currently it is trying to recover in line with the price action. Buyer demand is also very good at A plus. That indicates stock has having good accumulation whenever the stock is moving higher. There is good amount of interest or good amount of investments happening. That is indicated by A plus rating. So overall, it's a very good stock. Placed at currently very good, but Uh, Taking fresh entry is not advised at this moment because there is no idle buy point at this point. However, if you are already holding, you can keep stop loss below its 21 DMA, couple of points below that level, and you can continue to hold until that level is reached.
Thanks, Raj. Vakaria, I'll take some queries.
Yeah, sure. Vaka.
Yeah. So I mean, just pardon, I'm just going from bottom queries. I mean, we'll try taking as many as possible. So can you just give me the recent query, Post Motors and APL Apollo first? Thank you. So yeah, the stock had its result recently, and it was a good set of results, and that's why you can see a good rally happening. And the stock broke out, and post the breakout, it stopped. Now they extended more than 11% from pivot, and it was an early stage base, probably discussed in one of the pre-bells as well, the morning session that we guys take. And on the rating front, if you look at it, EPS strength is very, I mean, fair, but in the last 3 quarters, there was momentum in results. Overall price strength is good. Buyer demand for the stock is good. The stock is forming a blue dot, that is the RS line is hitting a new high. So, I mean, someone who had bought the stock around the pivot or at the breakout can continue to hold. So, I mean, at this moment, slightly, I mean, the near term support, probably the 21 DMA, the stock is kind of extended at this moment. But I mean, what we always tell about the general profit booking strategy, if the stock comes into the green line, if according to even your risk appetite, can probably partial book on it. If power to pivot is hit, then can continue to hold the stock till the point in time some key moving average gets breached. So the next we can take is APL Apollo. So I mean, stock doesn't fit into our criteria. Why? Just because if we look at it, it's more the price trend, the buyer demand for the stock has deteriorated. The RS line is going down, which is not a good sign. And maybe some value picking is kind of happening in this stock for the last couple of sessions. As you can see, the stock is kind of bottoming it out and trying to reclaim, but there is no volume still at this moment. That's why we kind of emphasize on the last couple of quarters, 3 quarter result as well. If you look at the last couple of quarter results, this the momentum in the earnings for the stock is falling, and which is not a good sign. So earlier, if someone would have bought onto the stock, should have exited at least when 50 DMA got breached, or even someone with a higher risk appetite should have also exited when 200 DMA got could have breached. A re-entry or new entry into the stock is probably not advisable. As you can see, price volume action for the stock is very bad or deteriorating at this moment. So let the RS improve, let the buyer demand for the stock improve, let it probably reclaim some key moving averages or at least form a new base. So when a new base gets formed, and breaks out from there, and not just the price action, even on the results front, let the stock come with a better set of numbers. I mean, considering the last couple of quarter results, that wasn't too good. So at that moment, when even the numbers start getting reflected in, and along with good price volume action, then it can be good. Yes, so someone is asking that APL fund number of funds have increased. So fund holding has increased, but that is just one criteria. I mean, even if fund holdings have increased, you cannot. With our methodology, we cannot go in for bottom fishing. So even fund holding, I factor remains one of the criteria. But primarily, all ratings have to be good. Along with that, the stock has to form a proper early stage base, and then from a base, it has to break out properly. Uh, so the next we can look at it is JK paper, Lupin. Thank you. So again, I mean, the paper stocks have not been in momentum for the last few months, as you can see, and JK paper along with the sector have been down. And primary reason, as you can see, is the last few quarter results, last couple of quarter results, 3 quarter results. Raj, can you just move the screen down a little bit? As you can see, the negative results or the degrowth has started to happen for the paper stocks, and that is one of the main reasons why the stock is probably consolidating or falling as well. So if someone would have bought this stock, had breakout, should have exited by now, considering the stock has, I mean, gone below the 50 DMA and also below the 100 DMA at this moment. So at this moment, advised not to hold the stock, or probably not to re-enter into the stock at this price. Let the technicals for the stocks along with the fundamentals to improve, then only we can look at this stock. The other is Lupin. So the stock along with the sector has been in good momentum, as you can see, and it's been a one-way trajectory post the breakout. I mean, the post breakout in last April, as you can see, from the break. I mean, from that breakout, it has nearly doubled. As you can see, it was around the breakout was around 800 levels, and being a large cap stock, I mean, still the rally has been in good quantums. And similarly, why? Uh, See the last 3 quarter results and see the quantum increase in the EPS and the sales as well. So that is why, I mean, but at this moment, if you just look it from a price volume action, the price volume action remains very good. I mean, at this moment, some kind of uh, top formation is happening, but the volumes is still not a major concern at this moment. Some if a key moving average get breached, then probably if someone would have held the stock or had bought the stock at the previous breakout, can trail the stop loss with your 21 DMA. So 21 DMA is very close at this moment. So can trail it and even look for technical deterioration if the stock is falling on above average volume. So Raj is trying to point out that the 21 DMA is 6% from here. Uh, so which is not that far away at this moment. Overall, this it looks good. I mean, but I mean, new entry or fresh entry into the stock is currently not advised, as even the extension from the pivot is more than 100%. And so, if a new base gets formed, if that happens and then it probably re-breaks out, then we can probably have a look at this stock.
Thanks, Vakar. We can take GRSE now. Okay, so last year was like in 2023, there was a strong rally in these, ship related stocks, the shipbuilding stocks. But this time it has formed a cup with handle base. And after the base formation, it tried to move higher. It was a third stage base, but there was no further, momentum over here. And it failed to hold the gains, and it breached its key moving averages 2150 sub breach kar diya. Broadly, if you see, the earnings have been really good, but if you look at the number of fund holdings, that has gone a bit down in the last quarter. I think after a huge rally, there was some selling by the funds. Do not try to chase it now. Let it complete the base formation. Let it form the fresh base. फिर से अगर ये buy zone में आता है, नया base बनाता है, and so that's when you need to have a look at this one. If you look at the relative strength, that's quite poor. It is now at around 51, and even the group rank is falling. This is the group rank of, I think, someone is pointing out at Mazgaon Dock also. So these shipbuilders group rank was among top 10 in last year, but now it has slipped to 64. So technically is also it's going down. So let it give some time. Now next we can take is Aegis Logistic. So some sharp momentum today in the stock. The stock was up almost around 10%. So it had completed its, I think, double bottom base, and it broke out today from that base, and it moved higher. So if you look at the relative strength, the price strength, it's quite poor. And if we, Raj, can we see the result? Yeah, results also, that has been a bit mixed one. Last दो quarter में कुछ revenue growth इतना हुआ नहीं था, but the profitability, the EPS growth was decent. It has a very strong ROE, and broadly the sector is also in a very good shape. The logistics sector, the stock is currently extended from its buy zone. So I think 0 to 5% is the ideal buy zone after the breakout. So the stock is extended from its ideal buy zone. So next we can take is Kalyan Jewelers. Okay, in this stock, it recently broke out, and then there was some sideway momentum from the stage three consolidation base. And if you look at the base formation, that was really good. If you look at the volume, there was a dry up in the volume. एक पूरा consolidate किया एकदम proper से. And while it was consolidating, it found support near its 50 DM. अगर देखो red line पे support लेके फिर वहां से bounce हो गए, it broke out. But after breaking out, it moved a bit lower. Broadly, the volume was also on the lower side when it was going down. But then again, near its 50 DMA, थोड़ा एक दो दिन नीचे गया, it found support and then it rebounded on a higher volume. And today the stock was up around 6%. Now, if you look at the earnings have been very good since last three quarter for the stock. Even the number of fund holding the stock has increased quite substantially, around 30% increase in number of fund in the last quarter. So it's in a good zone, but currently extended from the base. So if you are holding the stock, then wait for the 50 DMA, might be a good stop loss in this case. If you are not holding the stock, then I think you might need some time for the fresh entry. या तो एक बार थोड़ा नीचे आता है low volume पे in the ideal buy zone, you can get it there, or if it makes a fresh base, that's the time you can go behind this one.
Thanks, Rishit. I'll take few queries now. I'll start with CDSL. The stock currently has broken out from stage 2 double bottom base pattern, but after breaking out, it didn't find the required momentum to take the stock further higher. It came down below its pivot and breached its 50 DMA as well for a short period. Currently, that 50 DMA has been reclaimed, but the momentum is lacking, and also the volume have dried up the last couple of sessions. But the breakout has happened on very good volumes, indicating a strong breakout. However, it was followed by sharp selling as well. If you look at the ratings section, it is looking very good. EPS is at 94, or belonging to top quartile. That is especially because of last three quarters gain, or in terms of growth, in terms of sales and profits. So RS rating is slightly on the. It has been moving sideways. The stock has been consolidating in a double bottom base pattern. That's the reason RS rating has also been constant for the last 1 or 2 months. It is around 60 to 70 range. Buyer demand is very good, indicating strong accumulation. The only concern is currently it is below its pivot. Let's wait for the stock to come to the ideal buy range, which is 0 to 5%, as mentioned previously as well. From the pivot, this bluely highlighted area is ideal buy range. If the stock trades in that area for a particular amount of time, let's say half an hour or more on a higher volume, you can start accumulating positions. And if you're already taken position, I think the last Tuesday's low can be kept as a stop loss. So that is below its 50 and 41 DMS, and you can ride until that stop loss is breached on the lower side. Okay, there are a few stock queries from the YouTube as well. I'll take BCL Industries. Okay, it's broken out on a very strong volume today. You can see it's a stage two consolidation base breakout, and straight away it went above its idle buy range as well. It is currently 6% above the pivot. The volume has also been very good in the today's session. It is clearly above average volumes. Ratings wise also it is looking very good, but the only concern is it is above extended from the buy range, and also it's a very small market cap company. You can see here it has only 10 number of funds invested, and it is a 2000 crore market cap company. And RS rating is also very good. It has RS line has made a new high in terms of blue dot formation. So it's technically as well as fundamentally it is looking very good. Chart wise also it is placed well. So if you are looking for any fresh additions, I think this is one of the good stock to consider. Uh, let's see how the stock trades tomorrow, and if it trades in the idle buy range and on above average volumes, you can consider taking fresh positions. On the downside, it is highly extended from the moving averages. 21 DMA is 14% from here. So on the risk reward wise, there is more risk involved here as well. 14% is a lot of loss to take. So you need to be very quick in terms of exiting as well. If there is any selling happening in this stock, you need to be very quick to exit as well. Otherwise, your loss would be very high, which will be very difficult to recover in the future. Okay, next.
Raj, I'll take some queries. Yeah, okay.
Sure, sure.
Can you give me a chart for is Bector Food and Cochin Shipyard done?
No, no, no. I think it is not covered.
Okay, so give me Bector Food and Cochin Shipyard now. Thanks. So as you can see, till the end of last year, the stock was in complete momentum, and after that, the stock came in consolidation, consolidated around the 50 and the 100 DMA, and it's currently testing its 200 DMA at this moment, and it's probably well extended from pivot as well. And it formed a base again after a very long rally. But someone would have bought it at the last or the previous breakout. Should have probably exited when then the 50 DMA got breached. Currently, the stock is holding around the 200 DMA. But as we say, let's not bottom fish. But what even Raj is trying to point out is you can see the stock fell, and it fell on very heavy volumes on above average volume. So, which is not a good sign, which is a sign of distribution, which is not good for any stock. And primarily let the stock recover. That's what we'll say. Let the stock recover. Let the stock recover and move above its key moving averages as well. Sorry. And let it form a new base because fundamentals at this moment, historical fundamentals continue to remain intact. Even the fund holding continue to remain intact. But let's not bottom fish. Overall, the story behind the stock continues to remain good. It's just that let the technicals or the price volume action for the stock to improve, because the technical related ratings for the stock is not good. Even the RS line and the buyer demand has gone down. So let that even the ratings come back. Let the ratings recover. After that, we can have a look at this stock. The next was Cochin Shipyard. Yes. So the stock broke out from a cup base, as you can see, and the stock at this moment is more than extended from the pivot. And The negative part for the stock is that the fund holding for the stock has started to decline, which is not a good sign. And the stock is below the 21 DMA. But as you can see, no major signs of distribution as well. And someone who would have bought the stock at the last breakout or even the previous breakout can probably continue to hold so, because even the stock didn't breach 21 DMA on above average volume. So maybe you can keep 50 DMA as your trailing stop loss line at this moment. If that gets breached on above average volume, can probably think to exit or partially book out on the stock, considering your risk appetite as well. New entry into the stock is certainly not advisable. One, because extension from the pivot is too high, and even in the fund holding for the stock is kind of declining. So even that is one of the negative for the stock at this moment. Raj, you can take it.
Take few metal stocks, National Aluminum and Hindustan Copper. As discussed in the opening remarks as well, metal stocks have been doing very good. You can see National Aluminum is one of the stock which is doing very good as well. Recently, it has broken out from its stage two consolidation base pattern, and the breakout has happened on very high volumes. You can see here on the day of breakout, the volume was remarkably higher above average volumes, and from there, very strong accumulation was seen in the stock, and it accompanied by very strong volumes as well. And during this rally, 21 DMA has been held by the stock, which is a sign of constructive rally happening. And if you look at more closer to in the last couple of weeks, there is a slight selling has happened after making a new all-time high. The stock has come under pressure, but the volumes were not so high, so it's not a major sign of concern. One could say it is because of profit booking happening. But after which this 21 DMA rebounds from that level has been very sharp. Volume again has come in. So on price volume action, it is still looking very constructive, one can say. Currently, it is trading around 48% from the pivot. So definitely not. It's a definitely an extended stock in terms of buy point. There is no proper buy point at this moment to take, and it is extended from its moving averages as well. Let's see how much it is extended from 200, from 200 EMA. It is almost 57% extension from here. If you see historically for the last 1 year, it traded very close towards its 50 and 200 DMAs. So this type of divergence from the 200 DMA has not been the case in the previous 1 year. So in this kind of scenario, we might see there is any negative news related to the sector. These stocks will definitely come under pressure, and these extended stocks from moving averages will come down and retrace or come towards those moving averages. So in that perspective, one needs to be cautious. However, we can also ride this momentum with keeping a stop loss depending on your risk appetite. By looking at the chart, one could say 21 DMA to be a very good support, and few points below that 21 DMA can be kept as stop loss. And if that level is breached, you can consider exiting. Otherwise, you can continue to hold it until stock shows any signs of weakness. Next is Hindustan Copper. From the outset, it is very similar to the previous stock which we talked about, National Aluminum. In terms of chart placement, it is looking very similar to the previous stock. breakout happened in November, and from there, stock has rallied higher, and the volume has also been very good. It is also very similar to the previous stock, like around 48% from the pivot. In terms of moving averages, this stock has come down slightly higher. That is, it has come down more, and it has reached its 50 DMA as well. But the 50 DMA has been reclaimed in the next within a session. A positive sign. Ratings still remain intact. RS is at 88 and A by D rating is at A. On the ratings front, it is looking very good. Only concern is the recent sell-off which has happened from the highs around 300. It has fallen to almost 230, 35 range. But if you look at the volume section, the volumes have been on the lower side when this sell-off has happened. The volumes have dried up. That is the only positive in this sell-off. And reclaiming 50 DMA, and the stock has very good support at its 50 DMA that can be observed from the previous, that is in the last two sessions back. So going forward as well, you can keep that level as a stop loss if you have not exited. You can keep that this low as a stop loss, and if the stock makes a new low in this area, you can exit. Otherwise, you can continue to hold the stock. As you can see, this stock has been a very strong performer for the last 6 or 7 months or so, around record happening from stage 1C, and it has rallied more than 40% from there. And during this rally, 21 DMA has been held by the stock. Again, a sign of a constructive rally. RS rating has come down slightly because for the last 3 quarters, the company has not able to generate growth in terms of sales. In terms of profits, also the growth is not higher. It is only single-digit growth in the last 2 quarters. So that is one sign of concern. We would like to see recent earnings growing at least 20 to 30% consistently. But the stock is doing very good in terms of price volume action. The stock is placed very good, and it is trading above its moving averages as well. It is extended around 8% from the 21 DMA, so that can be kept as a good stop loss if you are holding this stock. Fresh entry is not advised at this moment because it is already 40% extended from here from the pivot. Let's wait for the stock to form a new base, and depending on the ratings and stocks breakout at that particular time, you can take a call whether to enter or not. Next is Polycab.
Yeah, I can take it, Raj. Polycab and GMDC, I can take it. So yeah, Polycab, if you see, there was a huge gap down. If you see last month, there was some sharp selling in the Polycab stock due to some news related to some checking at the taxation related or ED related issues. And then after that, it is trying to hold a certain level. And now it has just reclaimed its 200 DMA today. But the only thing is that volume is not that high. It's below average volume. But also one thing to note that if you consider the average volume in last 4-5 months, then it is fine. अभी जो बीच में ये selling में higher candles आई थी उसकी वजह से the average volume has gone up. But broadly, if you see, the volume was decent, the closing was near the day's high. Now the most important thing is the follow up buying. अभी यहाँ से कितना follow up buying आता है? If the stock reclaims 50 DMA from here, the red line if you can see, या फिर 5000 वाला जो level है वहां से जहाँ से ये gap down हुआ था, if we can reclaim those levels, then that is quite positive for the stock. But as of now, bottom fishing is not suggested. If you are holding the stock, then again you need to look for, I think, last few days low is very important to watch out. If it breaches again, then we might see some fresh selling over here. Let's take GMDC. So there's a strong momentum in this stock since last, if you can see from the August September of low, there has been a huge momentum from 160s. It has moved to more than 500 rupees in price and almost 240% off lows. Recently, I think in the last week there was a huge selling. 500 से level से सीधा it breach around 400 का level भी breach कर दिया. It breached its 21, 50, 100. All the key moving averages were breached and the volumes were also high. Okay, but now since last three session, it is trying to rebound from the lows, but volume is like a bit on the lower side. We want it to be some more on the higher side. Now, most important over here is to watch out for the 50 DMA because the stock is now coming closer to the 50 DMA, the red line. If it is reclaimed and you see that the volumes are higher, then that is positive. On the flip side, if you look on the left side, the results have not been consistent. The EPS growth, the sales growth is not that consistent for the stock, and the fund holdings have increased, but the shares held by fund is a bit choppy, though the return on equity is quite higher for the stock. We can take one last two queries and then we close the session. One is RCF and second is Advanced Enzyme. So RCF, the result was not up to the mark, and there has been huge selling in all the fertilizer related stock, whether it is RCF or the other fertilizer stock. There was a huge rally in November, December, January, but in February, I think especially after the budget, there was no something special for them, and there was a huge selling after the budget was declared in all the fertilizer stocks. Also GSFC, RCF, सारे में selling था, and it has breached its key moving averages. वॉल्यूम इतना नहीं था कि सुपर हाई वॉल्यूम से बैक टू बैक फॉल आया जैसे वी सॉ इन पॉलीकैब, जैसे कि हाई वॉल्यूम पे स्टॉक गिरे जा रहा था. दैट इज नॉट द केस. आई थिंक देयर आर वन और टू सेशंस, ओनली आई थिंक वन सेशन व्हेन द द सेलिंग वाज ऑन अबव एवरेज वॉल्यूम. अगर कल का सेशन देखे तो देयर वाज अ वेरी गुड रिवर्सल. लुक एट द रिवर्सल. Almost it came near 135 and then the reversal was strong and the stock closed near the day's high, and that also above this pink line, that is 100 DMA. So this action is very good. Now if you are holding the stock jo yesterday's low, then that becomes very crucial to hold. Okay, if you want to go for fresh entry, then I think this is the time to wait a bit and let it reclaim the 50-day moving averages. And once it reclaims the 50-day moving average, how the volume is and how close it is to 21 DMA, that is very crucial to observe. When we can take one from the YouTube as well, that is the KNR construction, and then last one, Advanced Enzyme. The stock is moving sideways since long. The consolidation has been very large. Even if you see on the weekly chart, the other construction companies, the road related companies, infra related did really well. But I think the KNR is not able to outperform. So there are many other alternatives as of now in the market which are in the similar space, but in the infra related space doing really well. This stock is moving sideways, I think, since it made a high of 343 1 year back. वहां से पूरा ये sideways जा रहा है. It is going down. Broadly, it has not generated any returns, but the negative returns from there. Now the most important thing is to hold the 200 DMA, and from there, it is forming a base. So 305.5 is the pivot. So if it crosses the pivot on a higher volume and you see some green spots in the results, so result may be agar EPS dekho to there is a negative EPS growth since last 2 quarters. Though the sales growth is decent, but it is not able to generate a good profitability. But so if this quarter or in the next quarter, if we see some good order flows, some good profitability, and the baking out of the base on a higher volume, then that's the ideal time to look at this stock. Okay, so the last query of the day, Advanced Enzyme, and then we close the session. Okay, the stock is trading near its 52-week highs. There has been a very good momentum after it breakout in the last month. December के around इसका breakout हुआ था in the first couple of months back in the first week of December. You see the breakout was really strong. Highest volume was on breakout day. अगर last आप 2 महीने आगे पीछे का देखो, so there was a very high volume on the breakout day. And closing was in the top quartile. So this is an ideal breakout, and from there we have seen the rally has been strong. Even after some choppy days, it was able to hold its 50 DMA for a couple of time. It tested 50 DMA, but broadly वहां से एक 2-2.5 महीने में एक 20-25% जो एक ideal return होता है after the breakout, it has given this. The number of fund holding is increasing. The results have been quite good. The consistency in the growth, sales as well as the EPS front. And though the EPS RS rating poor है 54, but there are blue dots. Blue dots means the RS rating at a fresh 52-week high. So this is something positive. Don't only look at the 54 as a number, but from where it has came up. From 20 it has came up to 54 roughly. So this is what you need to watch out for. So it's a good stock, but ideally it's in a profit booking zone, very close to it, the green shaded part. So if you're holding the stock, then according to O'Neill methodology, it's very close to profit booking zone. If you want to add a fresh position, not an ideal time because it is extended from pivot, extended from 50 DA moving average. So अगर 50 DA के थोड़ा करीब आता है ना, then that is the ideal time to add the stock when it rebounds on a higher volume. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Thank you for joining. I hope that was helpful to you guys, and we were able to share the info, the knowledge well. Thank you everyone in the room. Thanks Rajshekhar, Vakar, and we are very sorry that there was a bit delay in the start due to the technical issues. If you still have some queries which are unanswered in this webinar, you can always reach out to us on the email. So we'll try to answer it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I think we can call it a day from here. Thanks Rushit, Vakar, and everyone for joining this session. Yeah, as mentioned, you can write to us on email. We'll take some time to answer your queries in the meantime. Thanks.